So you've had the rarefied experience of getting a TV show on the air.
Yeah.
And now your show has come to an end.
Hmm.
And I'm wondering, like, what is the afterlife like?
Yeah.
You know, like, what is life like after you've gotten your show and now it's gone?
Um,
Sadly.
yeah, yeah. I mean, man, that would have been tight if we
Of
did.
course.
Man, season three,
I know.
we were about to, yeah,
Yeah, I'm sad.
we are about to get busy with
Yeah,
season three.
of
Yeah.
course.
Um, yeah, yeah. So it was during the strike, so it was weird. And I was about to go pick it at Disney, and I got a text from Dan that was like very ominous, and I kind of knew what it was. And then he called. He's like, "Hey, so this isn't a good news call. Folks at NBC are going to be calling you, and we didn't get a season three." Took the call from them. They're very kind. They as far as what was said to me, they love the show, but it's a business, and more people got to be watching it for to justify spending that money on it. And so I honestly, the real of it is I actually felt there's a weird relief.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got to contextualize that because I just finished saying I wanted to do more, but like just knowing whether or not you're just in this limbo, our time slot moved. There's just a lot of things where it was like, man, it was all feeling a little like, man, we're just like the underdog. We just felt like an underdog show on a network, and so I think just knowing what the fate was finally was a relief. And then, I think, and this is just another thing, like creatively, when I was in New York, I would do these shorts, and I'd rent out the Soho House and then fill the theater with my friends, and then they'd all be like, "Oh, you did a thing," or whatever. Having a show out at this scale is probably one of the pieces of creating a show running that nobody prepared me for. Where like folks that I will never meet ever love this show, really love the show. Folks I will never meet and who don't know me hate the show. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, and we talked about this. We talked about this at
Yeah.
Cobell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you helped me on the journey towards just being like, oh, like your creativity, it's going to be for some people and not for other people, and that's kind of tight. That's kind of tight when you are when you are carving out an audience. And so I struggled more when the show was on air than when the show got canceled, because you're creative, you want everyone to love your thing. It's not a realistic thing, especially in this day and age. You know what I mean? And so there was the relief of just having an answer, but then there was the relief of like, oh, all these people just came out of the woodwork and were like, yo, that was my shit. I really love this show. And so in a weird way, it was like, oh, and I knew there were a lot of people that loved the show, but like, it was like that week that we got canceled was like overwhelmingly positive.
I love it.
From people in the industry and outside of the industry. And so in that way, I was like, 2 seasons of a show, like, in the UK, that's all you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you do 6 episodes for 2 seasons, and then and then you're kind of just that's what you do. So it was actually fine.